1. As I gazed into the mirror, my reflection grinned menacingly, its eyes filled with malice. I had never smiled. 2. Alone in my room, I heard my mother calling me from the kitchen, but I knew she couldn't be home. I'd buried her in the backyard last week. 3. I awoke to a whisper in the darkness. You're not alone. I realized I'd forgotten to lock the front door, and the voice came from the closet. 4. The eerie music from the antique music box played on its own, each note growing louder and more dissonant as my grandmother's ghost appeared in the corner of the room. 5. My son said he saw a man under his bed, so I checked, and there was nothing. As I tucked him in, I heard a voice from under the bed whisper, "He's on top now." 6. I found a diary from the 1800s, hidden in my new home, filled with terrifying accounts of a cursed family. The last entry was dated tomorrow. 7. After my neighbor died, I started receiving strange letters from her, claiming she's still watching me. The letters came from her address and were postmarked yesterday. 8. I awoke to a text message from my wife, who was sleeping next to me, saying, "There's someone in the house. Don't move." I realized I hadn't brought my phone to bed. 9. The babysitter texted me, "The kids are asleep, and I'm in the living room," but I was at work, and the security camera showed her playing with the children in their bedroom. 10. As I stared at the family portrait, I noticed my twin brother standing behind me in the reflection, even though I knew he'd died a year ago. 11. The doorbell rang, and I saw a delivery person holding a box with a tag that read, "Open in case of emergency." I hadn't ordered anything, but I could hear my own voice coming from inside the box, pleading for help. 12. I found my childhood teddy bear in the attic, and as I hugged it, I felt it hugging me back, and a tiny voice whispered, "You left me behind." 13. While watching a video of myself sleeping, the footage showed me waking up and staring into the camera, saying, "You shouldn't have looked." 14. In the pitch-black room, I felt something crawl into bed with me, and I thought it was my cat until I heard it purring on the windowsill. 15. I woke up paralyzed, with a shadowy figure at the foot of my bed, whispering, "I'm your future self, and I've come to warn you." 16. I entered a deserted carnival funhouse, and the distorted mirrors all showed the same reflection. Me, but with soulless, hollow eyes. 17. I discovered an old radio that only played recordings of my own voice, repeating over and over, "They're coming for you." 18. My son said he saw a monster under his bed, so I checked, and there was nothing. Later he whispered, "It's in your closet now." 19. After my husband died, I kept hearing his voice on the baby monitor, singing lullabies to our newborn, but the nursery was empty. 20. I received a love letter from my deceased wife, written in her handwriting, saying, "I'll always watch over you, my love." 21. I found a hidden tunnel in the basement, and inside, I discovered a room filled with lifelike mannequins, each one resembling a missing person from the news. 22. The old man across the street had no visitors, but every night, I saw shadows dancing through the windows of his darkened house. 23. I heard my daughter giggling in the attic, but when I climbed the stairs, she whispered, "Daddy, I'm down here." 24. My reflection in the bathroom mirror blinked when I didn't, and then it began to smile as I frowned. 25. I received a selfie from my girlfriend, who was on vacation, but when I looked closely, I saw someone else's reflection in the mirror behind her. 26. The midnight phone call was my mother's voice, saying, "You left the door unlocked, and he's inside." 27. The strange man in the photograph I took at the family picnic last summer was nowhere to be found in any other photos. 28. As I closed my eyes to sleep, I felt a hand grab my shoulder, and a raspy voice whispered, "You're not alone in your dreams." 29. I found a photo album in the attic filled with pictures of my wedding, but I had never been married, and the groom was a faceless silhouette. 30. The knocking on the front door continued, and I knew I was alone in the house. But when I opened the door, there was no one there, only a box containing a recording of my own voice, repeating, "Let me in." 31. The last thing I heard before my hearing went silent was the voice whispering in my ear, "You'll never escape." 32. I woke up to my cat hissing and scratching at the closet door. When I opened it, I found a mirror I'd never seen before, reflecting an empty room. 33. My daughter said she made a new friend in the basement, but we don't have a basement. 34. Every night, I find a trail of blood leading to my closet, but I have no wounds, and it vanishes by morning. 35. My wife's voice called me from the backyard, but she was asleep beside me, and I saw her reflection standing in the kitchen.